Great rising, beautiful humans. This is Coach Koffe here in the great state of Texas, and this is Thought Filled Thursday. Last week I didn't do a segment, had a lot going on, so I wanted to get back with you guys this week and definitely connect. So I'm super excited about the content that we're going to be sharing with you guys today. It's going to be really, really exciting and very, very transparent as always. You guys know I am very open to being transparent. I think it's important to be very honest and forthcoming with your own truth. Everybody has a level of peace about their truth that they can handle, that they want to share, that they're okay with. And for a person like myself who has experienced a extreme amount of trauma in my life in times past, that was a very challenging thing to do at best, because it just felt like God was either angry with me, or he wasn't around, or I did something wrong, or you name it, that's what I was feeling. But as I grew, as I matured, as I began to take a journey to get the emotional and physiological and psychological help that I needed in order to cope and to get better, I came to the realization that a lot of what happened had nothing to do with me. It just so happened to be the hand I was dealt in life, and it was out of my control. So I had to learn how to control what I could and be okay with the rest. And so now that I've become a more mature being and a more well-rounded, educated being, I've realized that a lot of things that people will experience in the human journey are not things that are within the scope of their power to change. All you can do is deal with it and then determine how you're going to move from it. And that's something that we all have to learn how to master. For some people, they never deal with trauma. They never have major hiccups or adverse events that happen in their lives. And kudos, that's a huge, huge blessing. For others like myself who have had to deal with exceptional amounts of trauma, the lot has been different, which means that the hand that I was dealt, the cards that were on the table for me when I flipped them over, it wasn't cards that I wanted in my deck. Okay, nonetheless, we are here, and I want to share with you this morning that the thing that is keeping you from getting where you want to be is your secrets. You're only as sick as your secrets. We're talking about emotions today. We're talking about emotional intelligence today. You're only as sick as your secrets. Often in a society that we live in, the norm is not to tell the truth about what hurts you. It's to mask it. Don't cry. Don't show emotion. If you do cry, you're emotional. You need to learn how to control yourself. ... Fizz, fizz, fizz. But we have tear ducts to release pressure. Emotional pressure, that is. That's the reason why we have tear ducts, and that's why in the biblical state it says that God bottles up our tears. Angels bottle up our tears. And that means that the creator of the universe understands that we will have pain in our lives. We will have adversity. We will have things that cause us to cry. Even Christ in his journey here is affected by our tears, by our pain, by what affects us. He's moved by what moves us. When we lose a loved one, when we lose a position, when we lose a home, when we have to shift relationally and have to leave a person who we've been with for an extended period of time, when we have a child with challenges, when we find our friends going through different things, we're affected by those things. The book of Ecclesiastes clearly states there's a time to be born, a time to die, time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to refrain from dancing. And there's other things that go along with that. It's in the book of Ecclesiastes. So there's times for us to do certain things when it comes to emotion. But we do have to control those things as far as how we respond, when we respond. When you get into a conflict with someone, it is a wise decision to think about this whole scenario before you react. Because when you react, that means you didn't think intelligently about what was going on. When you respond, it means you processed it, you thought through it, and you were able to respond accordingly. A lot of times we just need to walk away from conversations with people in the moment when we're dealing with something that is very, very difficult. Recently, I had an adversity to come up with someone that I care deeply about, and we got to a place where the situation got heated. And for myself, I normally, back in the time when I wasn't as emotionally intelligent as I am right now, I would use choice words that were not ladylike to react to what was being said to me. Nonetheless, this time I've learned to be in a space of respect, not only for the people that I have to deal with, but for myself. And so because I've gotten to that place in my level of emotional intelligence, I declined to react how I used to. And I chose to respond integriously and with a high level of emotional intelligence in that dialogue. And so the person and I are rebuilding our bridge that was torn down as a result of some things that happened in the scope of our friendship. And so another scenario where there was someone in my space who was in my inner circle, I had to release the person. I forgave the person, but I had to release the person and walk away from that relationship, because ultimately at the end of the day, it was not going to be good for my tomorrow. That person was a part of my yesterday. And so a lot of times we just have to determine what needs to happen as far as emotional intelligence. When somebody is draining you, when you're in their presence and you don't feel good and the energy is low, the energy is never high, you're not able to receive or dish out without them having some type of not be excited about what you're saying. My brain is not on the word that I really want to look for right now, but it'll come to me. But when somebody is in your space and you want to give them some valuable information and they're not receptive, they're not open, it's rebuttal. That's the word I was looking for. They have a rebuttal for everything that you say, and it vice versa. You don't want to hear what they're saying. You don't want to receive what it is that they want to pour into you, and so on and so forth. When those things happen, those are relationships that you may have to dissolve because they're not good for you or the person long term in that regard. So sometimes the relationships that we find ourselves in or the people that we find ourselves connected to are not going to be good for our tomorrow. They fine for today because we've dealt with them in this moment and in this time. But as we mature, as we maturate, as we become stronger and more intelligent emotionally, then we have to walk away from some people. Some bridges we can repair, and some bridges simply have to be burnt. And it's okay for a bridge to be burnt, because you can't cross over back to everything that you were when you're looking to become the best version of yourself. So it's very important that we learn how to become strong in our emotional intelligence and not deviate from the process of maturation. When somebody comes into our space that we've had conflicts with in times past and things of that nature, sometimes we have a tendency to vacillate, and then we go back to what we totally disliked and don't want to be attached to anymore. And so you have to learn how to, hey, hold on. I'm not that person anymore. That's not how I'm going to do this. Let me respond according to what I know, what I've studied, what I've learned, and where I am right now, and how I've matured and evolved since I was that person prior. And so a lot of people will try to take you back to who you were also, because they are looking for you to be who you were previously instead of accepting who you are right now. And so some of those people, we can't get them out of our lives because they're family or something like that. We can detach ourselves to a certain extent, but we'll never be able to walk away from them in totality. But we can put a huge gap in between them and ourselves so that we can make sure we self-preserve and take care of ourselves emotionally. But today, I just wanted to get on here and share with you guys just a tidbit about being emotionally intelligent and thinking before you speak and responding as opposed to reacting. Life is full of adversity, it's full of trauma, it's full of trials, it's full of tribulations, but there are some beautiful things like love, intimacy, connection, commitment, consistency, loyalty, honor, integrity. Those are some things that we have some great people in our lives that display to us on a regular basis, including ourselves. We should be looking to become great people of high integrity and honor so that we attract the things that we really want to see manifest in our lives. So there's a great book called Emotional Intelligence. All you have to do is go Google it, Emotional Intelligence, the book, and it'll come up. It's the absolute first book that's going to pop up on your screen. It's actually on YouTube, but you can also purchase it on Amazon, and you can also do it through Hoopla if you're in the state of Texas and you have a library card, or whatever state you're in. You can get a free library card and download some ebooks for free every single month to be able to continue to grow in your thinking and your maturation process. This is Coach Koffe in Houston, Texas. It's been an honor and a pleasure to connect with you this morning. I hope you're having an incredible day, and remember, think before you respond and before you speak.